Welcome to the MGS podcast, your one-stop shop for movies, games, and sports. Today, we have a special guest here with us. Can you introduce yourself over there, buddy?
Hey, you say your name into the mic. No, into the mic, buddy.
Camden, nice to have you here, bud.
Now, who are you, Camden? Who are you to me? Are you my son?
Yeah.
Is that who you are? What are you wearing?
Sonic shirt.
Sonic shirt.
Who am I?
Who is that?
I don't
What do you mean you don't know?
Hey, you yelled it when I came in the front door.
Come on, don't be nervous.
Uncle Paul.
Uncle Paul.
Uncle Paul.
Now, why are you wearing a Sonic shirt?
Did I like Sonic?
Because you like Sonic. Did we go see Sonic 2?
Yeah.
Was it the best movie you've ever seen?
Yeah. Who was with us for Sonic 2? Who came with us to the movie theater?
Mimi.
Mimi and
Eliza.
no, Elijah wasn't there. Who else was there?
Uncle Paul.
No, Uncle Paul wasn't there. What about
In spirit.
Mommy.
Mommy was with? Yeah.
Mommy the baby.
Mommy's a baby. Yeah, she kind of is. Now, is Sonic your favorite movie? Yeah. Now, can you tell everybody watching this, who is your favorite Star Wars character?
The one with the hole.
No, that's not your favorite Star Wars
Yes,
character.
it is.
No, it's not. You always tell me.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan
Kenobi.
Kenobi.
And what we've been playing Star Wars on the Xbox, haven't we?
Yeah.
Which Star Wars is that?
Lego Star Wars.
Lego Star Wars?
Lego Star Wars.
And you like to attack Daddy in that game, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, well, hey, can you do me a favor?
What?
Can you say bye to everybody that's watching?
Bye.
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 Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for stopping by, Camden.
Welcome to the MGS Podcast, your one-stop shop for movies, games, and sports. My name is Jake, here always with the peanut butter to my jelly. Paul, how you doing, Paul?
Good, man.
You're eating a peanut butter and jelly
Peanut butter
sandwich?
and jelly sandwich,
So
bro,
you just
know.
eat our friendship.
Peanut butter, jelly. I take it all in.
I like it.
I take
I
it
like
all
it.
in.
So we actually had recorded a different podcast last week. Unfortunately, we ran into some audio issues upon the playback of said podcast, and it got ruined. So now we're going to do a new podcast. But you guys missed a lot of funny stuff.
Yeah.
I got to say
I think the worst part was that I think when we initially played some parts back, everything was fine.
It was fine.
And then we go in and do the entire podcast, and we're like, what just happened?
Yeah. It was a little frustrating, but
He was mad.
I was a little bit upset. But, one thing that did happen since we got to take a week break is I was able to see Ambulance.
Oh, yeah, and you said it was...
It was really good. Now, a lot of the movie was very similar to your normal bank heist movie, but the end surprised me a little bit. But overall, it was just an amazing movie. It reassures me that my man crush on Jake Gyllenhaal isn't for no reason.
Stays true to this.
Yeah,
thing.
it was really good. So, if you were skeptical on seeing it, now mind you, I like most movies anyway, but if you were skeptical, now you know someone who's seen it. I thought it was great. You can watch it too on that app.
Yeah, actually on that app, I start putting things that I want, marking them that I want to watch.
Yeah.
So there's a list that's building more and more.
Are you the reason that the list is getting bigger? I was wondering, who is adding all
I
this
forget
stuff?
that you can see all that same stuff. It's not like my own account.
Why is Girls Gone Wild added to my list? That doesn't
Episode
make any
13
sense.
is legendary.
But on today's podcast, we're going to touch briefly on two movies that had just come out this past Friday, The Northman and the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And with that, I think with the Northman, we have to kind of talk about the Thor trailer that has since released as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
For gaming, we're going to talk about Battle Royale, the genre in general, and how it's kind of reinvented the first-person shooter. And then for sports, we're going to update you on the NBA playoffs, a few things that have happened in the NFL, MLB, and
so
we'll see
stick
you guys
around.
in a minute for
Got
that.
a lot of good content coming. I wanted to cut him off just to piss him off right there.
No, you get us in the movies. You tell them we're gonna be back for movies.
Well, he said we'll be back for some movies.
So to kick things off, we're going to talk about The Northman, which came out this past Friday. It stars Alexander Skarsgård, which is pretty cool because for anybody who is a fan of the TV series Vikings, there's a character in the show, oh my lord, named Floki, who's actually the brother of Alexander Skarsgård, and their father played in the Thor movies. He was a doctor, the scientist in the Thor movies. He gets possessed by Loki in the first Avengers
he's in
movie.
all of the Avenger movies.
He's in quite a few of them,
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's just a small cameo here and there.
That's his father?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You want to know who his other brother is?
Who?
The guy who plays It. Plays Pennywise.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's Bill
Their whole
Skarsgård.
family's in the
Dude,
industry.
they're all actors, and they're all, like, pretty damn good actors, too.
Yeah.
And what I think is cool is Skarsgård is actually a Viking last name. So for 3 of them to have played in a Viking-related movie or TV show, because you got to count Thor because it is Norse mythology, so it's kind of related to Vikings. But
I just got to say, if you go just look up the movie on IMDb, just look at Alexander Skarsgård's picture. He's literally in a tuxedo with no pants on.
he pulls it off. He pulls it off way better than I
When we were
could.
scrolling through, I was like, wait, he doesn't have any pants on. Like,
He's naked.
it's legendary for an IMDb photo, bro.
But Nicole Kidman and Ethan Hawke are also in this movie. It appears that they play Alexander Skarsgård's character's parents. Ethan Hawke being a king who is murdered, and
Essentially, his son is out for some
he wants
revenge.
some revenge. He
and
wants
he
to
looks
kill
like
somebody.
he's getting it.
He is looking to Odin, the All-Father, for revenge. That's all I'm going to say about it. But it actually looks really good. There's part of the trailer that, someone throws a spear at him, and he kind of does like a 360, catches a spear and throws it back.
Yeah, that looked really cool.
It looks great. The movie looks a little exaggerated, but I feel like in Hollywood you kind of have to be.
Yeah. I mean, you have to put that kind of action in there. As long as there's not like Michael Bay directing it and explosions happening
First of all,
everywhere.
Ambulance was good. Okay, there were a lot of explosions.
Yeah,
in
I bet.
Ambulance, so.
Guaranteed.
And Optimus and Bumblebee did not show up like we had speculated.
Oh, yeah. No, that didn't happen.
They weren't in there, but
William Dafoe being in it,
Yeah.
I swear it looked like they were just bringing his Green Goblin character into that dark scene.
in slightly off base here, but the best thing they did with Spider-Man No Way Home was take off the mask for Green Goblin and just let Willem Dafoe
Play the
character.
Yeah, the schizo
Because
kind of.
to see the facial expressions as he's saying certain things, Willem Dafoe is just an amazing actor who
Absolutely, I agree.
honestly scares the absolute shit out of me. Like, if I saw him in the street, I wouldn't talk to him.
Yeah.
I know people have been wanting him to play the Joker for so many years because he has the big smile and the cynical laugh just like the Joker does. But for me, the Joker will always be Luke Skywalker.
Could you bring him in to the Robert Pattinson Batman series?
There already is a Joker in there.
Just saying, could have brought him in.
They could have, yeah. But you also see a Valkyrie at some point, it looks like, in the trailer. And I'm really excited about that because if you didn't know, I'm really into Norse mythology. I mean, I have the name Loki tattooed on my chest. Or not on my chest.
Is that your chest? Oh, wow. That expands way out there.
So my watch vibrated with which Chris, who just sent me 2 photos, how dare you interrupt me? Because he'll watch this. So, but yeah, I've got the name Loki tattooed, which isn't from the Marvel Loki. It's the real Loki, the real life one.
So stupid.
The Norse god of mischief. But yeah, so to move right into the Thor trailer, which we randomly got. I mean, I actually just saw it posted on Chris Hemsworth Instagram. He posted it. And I'm like, oh my god, it's here.
It's happening.
But it looks like they carried on from Thor Ragnarok, where
the 80s theme music.
well,
the
and
rock
just
music.
Thor being the comedian now, and he's not as serious as he was in Thor and
We
Thor:
see
The Dark
fat
World.
Thor working out, doing some workouts with the chains.
You gotta get that fat down. I wish I had that workout ability that Thor has, and
Speaking
Chris
of-
Hemsworth.
Yeah, I think I'm good now. I'll try to hold it like this for the rest of the podcast.
That was my workout.
Oh, was that?
You're gonna hold it?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
that was a whole workout for me.
Stiff, just like
But
this.
I think the thing that shocked most people who don't follow like the leaks and even the comic books is you see Natalie Portman as Jane Foster as Lady Thor. So that's really cool
Yeah.
to see Padme as Thor.
It's Padme throwing it. Always got to throw in the Star
I
Wars.
love her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was interesting to see her come in at the very end of the trailer. I mean, what were your thoughts, collected thoughts of the trailer when you saw it? Were you excited? Were you
I was
disappointed?
excited. There was some disappointment because, at one point in the trailer, Thor mentions that, like, basically, I'm a lover, not a fighter. Like, no. You shut your mouth.
Well, I mean,
go
I-
punch someone in the throat.
I think they're still playing on the Thor that was destroyed about what happened with Thanos.
Yeah.
So like mentally he's still like out of this whole like I'm a god kind of thing, when Thanos kind of really messed him up there, and I think he's just still trying to get out of that funk, even though we kind of saw in Endgame that he was out of it, but still realizing like there's other people out there who can compete with him. He's not the strongest guy in the universe.
Well, and we know he's now with the Guardians of the Galaxy. He left with
Right.
them in Endgame, so who knows what kind of, persuasion they had on him. And, there's a few funny scenes in the trailer between him and Star-Lord where, Star-Lord's talking and Chris Hemsworth is just getting closer and closer to his face. Like, he wants him to lock eyes with him. I'm curious, though, for Lady Thor, for Jane Foster, so in the comic books, Jane Foster develops cancer. And when she becomes Lady Thor, like, her cancer essentially goes away. But then when she's not Thor, when she's not wielding Mjolnir, her cancer comes back. So I'm curious to see because we know that Jane Foster broke up with Thor. He says it in Thor Ragnarok.
right.
Well, the fans say, "Oh, sorry, Jane broke up with you," and he's like, "She did no such thing. I was the one who did the breaking up." But maybe she broke up with him because she has cancer.
So do you probably a little bit more than I do. So where does she get that power from? Like in the comics, do they say like how she becomes Lady Thor?
I'm sure they do, but I don't really remember. I think in the MCU, it's going to be around, when Odin, blesses the hammer, like, whoever is worthy can have the power of Thor. I think that's going to be the angle they go with. But what I'm curious about is how Mjolnir was fixed. Because
because his sister broke it.
And you can even see in the trailer the cracks in it because they fill with lightning.
Right.
So I'm curious to see how they fix that because the dwarves who made it are all dead. Well, besides the one who helped them make Stormbreaker, I guess.
Yeah.
But Jane has it. Did Jane go and visit the dwarfs? And
Well, now I'm thinking of it. If I go back in the timeline here, actually after Ragnarok, he got the hammer back, but I guess he got it back because he went back in time and got it. So
Yeah, he
after
stole
that
it
all
from
ends,
that
does it
timeline.
go back to its original timeline?
You can see at the end of Endgame when Captain America is bringing back all the Infinity Stones, he takes Mjolnir with him.
Oh, okay.
So when he gets, what was that? The Mind Stone for that one, he also returns
Gotcha.
Mjolnir. So can you say that?
Mjolnir?
That was a good try. You can do the Paul Rudd version. You know how he says it?
How?
Jonathan.
Oh, I remember seeing that video of Paul Rudd. He's
What's
a
the name of
legend.
Thor's hammer? And you see all the Jonathan.
Jonathan.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm sure we'll get another trailer, obviously, before the movie.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about it right before the movie,
yeah,
too.
as we get closer, for sure. We'll have a huge segment on that one.
But I guess we can move on to what is probably the most exciting Nick Cage movie in a long time, which is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And
I wasn't going to say anything.
what's so funny about it is it's literally a movie that makes fun of Nick Cage being Nick Cage. So essentially Nick Cage in real life, he's always been made fun of because he'll accept any role because he needs money. He lost so much from tax evasion and stuff too. But, he gets hired by some sort of agency. They pay him $1 million to attend this guy's birthday party, and the guy ends up being a massive Nicolas Cage fan.
I think massive is an understatement. I mean, he literally shows he has a wax sculpture of Nicolas Cage in his bedroom, and they're sitting there. He's like, "How much did you pay for that?" And I think he said something like $10,000. Like, I'll give you $27,000 for it. And he's wants to buy his own wax statue of himself. So yeah,
it looks hilarious.
It does.
It really
look really
does. It's
good.
got Pedro Pascal in it. He's the drug lord or whatever. We don't exactly know. It's got Tiffany Haddish in it. Actually, I did not know this. Maybe he was in the trailer and I just didn't notice. But Neil Patrick Harris is in it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a movie in quite some time.
He was in that really, really good Matrix movie that just came out.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he was in that, actually.
But there's a really funny scene in the commercial or in the preview where, Pedro Pascal's helping him over a wall, Nick Cage over the wall, and he can barely get over, and then he falls over, and then Pedro Pascal's like, oh, we could have just gone around it because it's 3 feet over from them. And then there's the Mexican standoff where they're both holding
funny,
is that my golden gun?
I don't
it's my golden gun. I don't want to kill you. I don't want to kill you either. I love you.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks like there's definitely going to be a lot of comedy in it. And
as you brought up, it's got great reviews. You brought it up before the podcast.
Yeah, it's actually getting, I think, 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I feel like they're a tough critic. I mean, unless it's a Marvel movie, they always give them absolute great reviews. But yeah, I mean, it's 89% on Rotten Tomato, and I think even audience is 87%. So getting some really good reviews for a Nick Cage movie.
Yeah, my nephew who saw it, he said Nick Cage wasn't very good in it, but he said Pedro Pascal was phenomenal. But
so Nick Cage was being Nick Cage.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah. His exaggerated screams that he always does, when he's becoming Ghost Rider. Speaking of, what's your favorite Nick Cage movie?
There's a lot of good ones. I mean, I think you said there's only 2 good ones, but I
said there's 2.
I tend to disagree.
I didn't say there's only 2
good
good ones. I said that there should be 2 that are your favorite.
That's
not
what you said. I
Gone
will bring
in
up the
60
text
Seconds
message.
and The Rock.
The Rock was amazing.
And Gone in 60 Seconds literally made everyone who didn't know anything about cars
Connery.
fall in love with a Shelby GT from back in the day.
Oh,
and
man,
any Mustang Fastback.
Yeah.
Fastback for that matter.
I still love that car. I still love that movie. Just even the soundtrack to that movie was great. It's still one of my favorites.
Oh, my friends, drive a low rider.
I love that part when they're sitting there and the cocaine falls on the ground. And they're revving the car to get the cocaine and blow away. Yeah, that was fantastic.
You know what my favorite scene from The Rock was? Maybe you can help me out with this. Right at the end, he's got the green flares.
Doing it in acting?
Yeah.
I can do that. Okay.
Yeah. So you got the green flares. He's trying to tell the military to stop their bombing.
Was that close enough?
That was perfect. I think the best part when I was just watching the playback is at the point that the camera focused on your face. That was good.
Was it?
It was good.
I can't wait to see that. That's gonna be good.
But yeah, the Rock, he plays a guy who's trying to stop a chemical attack, and the chemical attack is happening from Alcatraz. So this agency that he works with recruits Sean Connery's character, who was the only person to ever break out of Alcatraz, so they can break in and stop this chemical attack. And it's one of my favorite by far. And what was it, 9mm or 8mm? He's like a cop. That was a really good one.
I mean, so the other ones that I really like, National Treasure
Yeah.
was one of my favorites. Mainly because I had intentions on trying to figure out how to steal the Declaration of Independence, and they showed me exactly how to
Well,
do it.
it's not even a real thing. It was just in the movie,
What?
the Declaration of Independence.
What do you mean it's not a real thing?
It's not real. It's just they made that for the movie.
No, bro.
I'm just kidding.
Really go
Obviously, I'm kidding.
But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna go steal it. But National Treasure was actually one of my favorites. The second one was pretty good too. But one of my favorites is actually with Jared Leto as well, is Warlord.
That was a good one.
And just the beginning of that movie, if you get a chance, just go watch the first 30 seconds. It's literally the start of how an AK-47 bullet is made.
Oh yeah,
being the most popular weapon out there, and it's just like from the manufacturer all the way to being shipped, thrown in the wooden box, and thrown with all the other bullets, and then it's shipped overseas. And it's just the life of an AK bullet, and then it fires out of a gun and literally takes a child out right in the very beginning of this movie.
Wow,
And it's like,
way
holy cow.
Way to just bring the podcast down with your negativity.
But it was actually a really cool scene, done really well, and that's one of my favorites up there.
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass. He wasn't in it a whole lot, but I just love that scene where they're in the warehouse and they're like shooting up the warehouse, and you can just hear him yelling through the gunfire and everything, and it was pretty cool. But yeah, not a
pretty cool?
huge
Our friendship.
huge part. Oh, it's fantastic. It's not pretty cool. It's,
Yeah, other than the fact that he only replies to like 2 of my text messages per day. But
God, Lee, you're so salty
who's
now,
counting?
bro.
Who's counting?
I
I'm
haven't-
counting. I'll save it for the gaming segment.
All
Never
right, yeah,
mind.
you better.
Never mind. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that'll wrap it up for our movie segment. So
Yeah.
should we move over to games
Yeah,
after we take a short break? Because I have to
move on over to games.
I have to wet the lips a little bit. So we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Sorry, that was awkward.
It was
Nicolas Cage.
Nicholas.
Take a break, take a break, take a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit
Wet the
Kat
lips.
bar.
Wet the lips.
Oh, yeah.
Such a rush of cherry flavor.
You never had this one?
Yeah, I
the
have.
Voltage.
I
It's
have.
got some charged with raspberry.
You know which one I
citrus
really liked?
flavor and ginseng.
Do you remember Livewire, the orange one?
Yes. Taco Bell's still up on that Baja Blast, which is not that great to me. It's like, come on, Taco Bell. You've had it for 10 years. Let's move on.
They make flaming hot Mountain Dew now or something too.
Like the Cheeto?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yep.
That's
So
terrible. Welcome back to the MGS podcast, your one-stop shop for movies, games, and sports. Moving on here to our second segment, which we're going to be talking about Battle Royale games, which they have changed the way that we play video games today. Wouldn't you say?
yeah,
What are you doing?
it's just
You good, bro?
Yeah.
Just
Mind
looking
your
at
business.
looking
What
at
are you
yourself
doing?
over there?
Yeah, I was. I'm just like, damn, that guy's good looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think they completely reinvented what people like in shooting games. I mean, think of it. When any new game comes out, people are like, oh, they should have put a Battle Royale in it. The game's going to flop. It doesn't have a Battle Royale.
My favorite's the Call of Duty people who hated on every Battle Royale game so hard until Warzone came out, and they're like, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever!
best thing ever.
Oh my god!"
Well, it's just, oh my lord, it's just crazy
that
to
was just
think
a
that
shake. Like,
arguably the biggest genre for shooters in the world right now was started from a mod.
yeah,
Arma was the first game, which was modded to be DayZ, which now it's its own standalone game as well, but it's a survival open world zombie game. And then a mod was created from that called PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which turned into what everyone knows as PUBG. And
But isn't it now like Player Unknown Battlegrounds?
so now it's PUBG Battlegrounds. So it's Player Unknown Battlegrounds. Yeah. That's because Player Unknown sold the game.
Right. So they had to change it.
Yeah, so that now it's just PUBG. Like, it doesn't even say Player Unknown anymore. It's just PUBG Battlegrounds. So essentially, PUBG is the name of it. Instead of it being Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, it's just PUBG Battlegrounds. But, you know, PUBG was massive. You know, Paul and I, we played the absolute shit out of PUBG.
Dude, I have hours and hours and hours on PUBG. And even to the point where you were so annoyed with the game, you were like, do you guys play anything else? And I was still playing.
So,
like, I was addicted to that game for
I
a
made
long
the mistake
time.
of getting a lot of people hooked on that game. And what's sad is that Paul and I are best friends. I was the best man at his wedding. He's going to be the best man at my wedding. At one point, PUBG hurt our friendship to the point where we didn't speak for a year. Mind you, there were other things going on as well. It wasn't just
There was a
because
lot more in life
PUBG
going on in that time, too.
but yeah, it was like a year where we barely spoke at all, and it's almost weird to think about that now because, yeah, I love this guy so much. But, you know, PUBG, I remember when it first came out on Xbox because I played it on PC a couple of times. I had that, remember that Alienware Alpha?
Yeah, and you were so
gaming
excited
PC I
about
had?
that little computer.
Dude, it was, if you guys don't know what it was like a computer gaming console, and it was the trashiest thing ever. I think it had like a i3
But
processor.
it was Alienware.
It was
And Alienware makes all the best gaming PCs
dude, and that is,
out there.
Dude, I saw Alienware and I'm like, yeah, that's Alienware, bro. Oh my god, this is gonna be stellar.
Totes my goats, dude.
Dude, it was so bad. But I played PUBG a couple of times with a old buddy of mine, Grant, and like I couldn't really get into it because I wasn't good with a mouse and keyboard, and then it came out on Xbox, and I'm like, man, I remember how fun it could have been on PC. I ended up buying it for Eric, T-Bone, JP.
We were sharing an Xbox Pass at that point, so I had it
essentially
there.
I bought it for you too, and then we got Andy on it.
I remember when that friendship took a toll, that was deleted, and I was like, son of a gun, now I gotta go spend
Why am I going
$19.99.
to game share with a guy who's just not even talking to me? But yeah,
The only person that was there to witness that was Andy.
yeah, because he was in
It
the
was
game
just
with
the
us.
three of us.
Yeah.
Randy's like, that was so awkward.
Yeah.
Like, what just happened?
Well, I remember your biggest problem. He won't admit this, so don't listen to anything he's about to say. But this man was an ammo hoarder. You'd be like, dude, I need some 5.56. I'm out of ammo.
That
Like,
wasn't.
I don't have any.
That wasn't
I've got
even what
no
the fight was about.
5.56. I know, but this was other fights. And then all of a sudden he dies, and you loot his body. 300 5.56 rounds. This dude couldn't drop me 30.
Dude, look, I spray and pray a lot in the beginning of that game, so I needed all the ammo. All you needed was 30 rounds, bro. And that's the real truth to it. I need way more ammo.
Okay.
But I could have probably spared 90.
Time out. You have a point. But, my gaming wasn't where it is now back when we were playing.
Yours,
now, mind you, I
yours
was
took
still,
a whole nother level with PC.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I was still really good at PUBG. I mean, we got a lot of chicken dinners. Do you remember your first chicken dinner? I remember our first chicken
The crates.
dinner. Yeah,
Shipyard,
like the shipping
the
area.
shipyard area.
And we like went around that guy, and he was right in the middle, and
Tag
we just
team. We even did the Eiffel Tower right over.
I was just gonna say that. We Eiffel Towered the guy, and we got a chicken dinner, and I remember how excited I was. And
We posted that shit to Facebook.
we
so
did.
quick.
My first solo win though, I waited out the circle. So like there's 4 guys left or something, and I'm hiding under a bridge. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna win this. And then I hear shots going, and then I see 2 people left. I quick pop up. There's one guy, shoot him 1 time, and he dies because he was already hurt. And I got a chicken dinner with 1 kill.
Yeah, I think I'm not gonna lie to you. I think both of my solo matches were only 1 kill, and it was towards the very end. And the very first one, I swear these 2 dudes killed each other because at the end of the game, I'm standing there, and then it just popped up winner chicken dinner. But there was definitely some gunfights. So either they killed each other, and then one died immediately outside the blue line.
Yeah,
and that was it. And I was like, holy shit, I just won. I was going nuts. Dude, Jasmine runs in there, was like, what's going on? I was like, I just got a chicken dinner.
Yeah. Dude, PUBG it brought out like the anger in me for gaming. I never, because I think the reason that Battle Royale has made such an impact in gaming, you can play Call of Duty, Team Deathmatch, how do you feel when you win a match of team deathmatch? You don't feel anything. Even Battlefield, if we win a match of Conquest or Breakthrough, it's like, oh, cool, we won. Right on.
Yeah.
You win a Battle Royale match, though, and you're stoked. Like, you just survived for, depending on the game, potentially 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Like, the longest...
they last forever.
Yeah, now I know some, like, Apex, I think 25 minutes is the longest it can go before the circle completely shrinks, but still, you've put a lot of time into that, and you're surviving. Like, PUBG, you couldn't buy anyone back. So if you and your whole team made it to the end, that was an accomplishment.
Which was a great thing when Warzone came out with that and they did that whole buyback system. Because there was a lot of things with PUBG. I mean, at first it gave you that battle royale aspect of everything. Yeah. But once you die, you're just watching your team play for the next, especially if you die in the beginning, you're watching them for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So you can get frustrated, like sitting there waiting for somebody to finish the game. And if you don't see them being aggressive, you're kind of like...
Yeah, they're just like camping and they're looting. And it's like, dude, what are you looting for?
Yeah.
What are you looting for, Paul? You already have 300, 556
And that
rounds.
leads to our argument. That's what happened was they died and they were like, Paul, just go out there and try to kill somebody. I'm like, no. And I'm jumping through windows, still looting. And and then it blew up from there. But PUBG was awesome. We had countless hours and so many good chicken dinners on that game.
And then, Fortnite followed that, which neither of us ever...
I think I tried to play like 3 times when it first came out.
I tried to play a couple times. I tried to play Fortnite before it was a Battle Royale.
It just goes to me, and I think we talked about this when we talked about Fortnite before. I mean, obviously it's really cool with all the skins and stuff they do in the in-game...
the in-game events.
Events that they have is really cool, but I like the more realistic style of my shooting games, my first-person shooters or the Battle Royales. I just couldn't get into the cartoonish version of that game, but obviously they do very well.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. My exception to that is Apex Legends.
Yeah.
Still on the cartoony side, but it's... we talked about Titanfall
I know, but it was the Titanfall universe.
Yeah, and I mean, it's cool. Like, you've got the Titanfall guns in it, but they're a little bit different. Like, there's a R99 instead of the R98, which was in Titanfall. But Apex just came out of nowhere. Like, they just released it. And, I liked the abilities that each character had, their unique abilities, because I think the important thing with the Battle Royale game, and a lot of the indie developers don't really understand it, is you have to have your own formula. Like, you can't just put out a normal Battle Royale where you're just trying to survive and that's it. Because those games, like those indie games, tend to fail because, like, why am I going to play this when I can go play PUBG?
Well, and I think that's what I thought when I first got into Fortnite. I was like, this is a straight knockoff of PUBG. I mean, they even got sued over how similar the games were, because it was legit the same exact thing, and that was my exact thought. Was like, why am I going to play this when I could just go play
PUBG?
PUBG, like so. That's why I never got back into Fortnite. I've never even given it another chance. I mean, I may have played 1 or 2 times since, but it just wasn't for me. But,
well, and then my favorite personally is actually Battlefield Firestorm.
Oh, dude, there's a lot of fun on that too.
A lot of people
wish I'd played that longer.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know what Firestorm is, but Battlefield 5, like 6 months after launch, came out with a battle royale called Firestorm. It was, I believe, 64 total players. It wasn't 100. I think it was 64, but the map was still huge. There was water, there were boats, there were these little helicopter type things. Just picture what a helicopter would have looked like in World War II. But then you've got the Firestorm, which instead of the blue wall of death from PUBG or the storm from Apex or not Apex, Fortnite, or the gas from Warzone, you had a Firestorm. It was a literal wall of fire that would just destroy everything in its path.
I liked how that was, because like in PUBG, you get caught in the line, you could still survive.
You could run
still
quite
shoot
away.
people from in the blue line. Like, it was easy to see through it. Firestorm, you couldn't see nothing.
Yeah, there was such a panic because, like, you're literally on fire.
Yeah, and that was another thing I thought was a unique idea done from Warzone with the gas, was like you couldn't survive in it. If you got stuck in the gas, you're pretty much
Yeah, you
done
needed the
unless
gas
you yeah,
mask.
but that only gives you what, 10 seconds
Yeah.
max
Something like that.
of survival in there. But and then people have to like find a unique way to survive as well with the gas, because there's people who will just pop out and they know they have a mask and then they'll come back in and you're like, what the hell? And they run 30 feet and come back
Dude,
in.
in my Warzone days, there's so many times I made plays by running into the gas, whereas in Firestorm, you couldn't do that, because if you run into the fire, well, your body bursts into flames. So let's
And the
say...
guy screams, doesn't he?
Yeah, he makes a lot of noise. It's
Yeah.
kind of like how, in Warzone, the guy will start coughing, but in, Firestorm, you're on fire. So just picture being on fire. But if you're if you're in the zone and someone in the Firestorm is on fire, you also see a giant ball of fire running around in the Firestorm. So it's also easy to get shot while in the storm from someone who's outside of the storm. And the coolest thing, like if you were in a building and the firestorm hit that building, the building will crumble and kill you, which was amazing. And, there were tanks, but it wasn't...
That was like the first. I would still think, is there even another Battle Royale that has tanks?
Fortnite now.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
they just added
Yeah.
that, so that's very new.
But in the tanks, it wasn't like you just, like, oh, hey, Paul, here's a tank. Like, no, you had to find this bunker door. There were 2 little turn wheels. You had to have one guy go to each side and turn the wheel, and then a super loud alarm starts going off. And it warns pretty much everyone within your area. So then by the time you're getting out of this bunker with the tank, you already got 8 guys looking at you anyway. And there was limited ammo. It wasn't unlimited ammo in the tanks, so...
I'm sorry.
Is my lizard pooping?
Bosk just came up to the glass, and he was like standing on your little T-Rex skull there, and he's just like... It's just like he's just over there like, you gonna come feed me? You gonna come feed me, player? Like, it was awesome. I'm sorry.
Let him vibe. All right.
He was definitely vibing over there.
Yeah,
bro.
but man, this guy.
I'm sorry.
We
It was a funny moment.
We talk about it every week. But Firestorm is actually my favorite Battle Royale. The problem was Battlefield locked it within the paywall of the game. So if you wanted to play Firestorm, you had to pay $60 for Battlefield 5. And a lot of people, especially the Call of Duty fans, said I don't want a World War II game, nor would I ever want a World War II Battle Royale. That's ridiculous.
But look at him now.
Look at him now.
That's like all those iPhone people. All those iPhone people. What do you need 3 cameras for? Yeah, but I'll take them now that I got them.
1, 2, 3. I got 3 cameras.
4, 5.
Those are sensors, stupid. I didn't mean to call you stupid just
Damn,
then.
you're so mean.
But then,
dude.
of course, Warzone. I loved Warzone when it first came out. It was phenomenal.
We do talk a little bit of trash about Call of Duty, but like like we said, there was a lot of unique things that they did.
Yeah,
and number
the
one
Gulag.
being the Gulag, and then the buyback system. Because, like I said, the frustrating thing was when you're playing PUBG, if you die in the very beginning, you're waiting 30 minutes. There's no getting back in. You go cook yourself a dinner.
Well, I
you're gonna
think
be sitting there for a while.
And I think, which we wouldn't have known much about, I think the buyback thing happened in Fortnite first.
Okay, yeah,
But it was a lot different than in Warzone, where you can just save up $4,000 and buy your friend back at any time.
Right.
Which is awesome.
Multiple times.
Same with Apex. You have a time limit to get your friend back before they expire. But then the Gulag, you die and you instantly have a chance to 1v1 someone to come back, which, I mean, that was amazing. I just thought the Gulag got a little carried away eventually by some of the guns.
All the
they
different
put in it.
guns, yeah.
Like, just give me a
keep it
pistol.
to the pistols.
Yeah. Or
Dude,
fists.
let them fist it out. I did love running around though in the top in the first Gulag. That was like The Rock, kind of the movie The Rock.
Yeah,
it was.
Alcatraz, ha.
So they're sitting there and you're running around throwing rocks at people.
Well, and that's another thing. Give the people in the Gulag rocks, and the rock does so much damage.
Did you ever get hit by a rock when
Many
you're in the
times.
Gulag and
yeah.
it does damage to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was,
I've seen videos of people getting killed with a rock.
really?
Yeah, because like they have a sliver of health left, and someone hits them with a rock, and it actually gives
that was
the
cool.
spectator credit for the kill. Too.
No way. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that's
Pretty cool.
awesome.
Yeah, but then Warzone, it started to get too cartoony for me. Some of the skins that they add, it takes away from the immersion.
Yeah.
And I'm very big on the immersion of a game. Like, you want to play a game, I want to play a game, and I want to feel like I'm in the game. And I'm sorry, when I have a guy who looks like the dude from Saw plus Santa Claus running around slide canceling and just shooting 360 fire bullets, I lose the immersion.
Yeah.
Like,
Could be quite frustrating.
yeah, and now
More annoying, I guess.
had I not got banned the first time, I probably would have played a lot more Call of Duty than cheater. I'm a cheater. I'm such a cheater. I probably would have played a lot more Call of Duty, but you know, I have a bad taste in my mouth for Activision, Infinity Ward, Ravensoft, all of those guys. I've been a firm believer that if you put a lot of money into the game,
Yeah, I think
they're
that's
gonna ban
the
you.
frustrating thing. Like, you know, I'm not good enough to get banned for someone to think I'm cheating. So, but the one thing that I think is frustrating with that is, like, you know, you do spend a lot of money. You do spend countless hours on this game, and then there's no way for you to, like, send an email or send an appeal. You know, your suspension. It's not even a suspension. They completely
It was a permanent ban.
permanent ban you for something that wasn't actually happening. So
At the time, I don't know how much they've changed since then, but at the time, it was solely based off of reports.
yeah,
And, you know, they would review your
someone
account.
could just be pissed off at you and just ban you.
But
for
it's
no
like, if
reason,
you
man.
looked at my stats, like, yeah, I had a great kill death ratio. I had a great win percentage. My headshot percentage was trash. Like, it wasn't very good. I missed a lot of shots too. Like, I've showed you some videos, like videos where I was called a hacker and I missed 6 shots before I connect with the 7th and
Right.
kill the guy.
I mean, purposely.
Yeah, of course. See, I gotta make it seem like I'm not hacking. But you know,
I love rubbing that in. I'm sorry.
they've
because
got
I
a
know it hurts.
Godzilla versus Kong event
That
coming
looks
soon.
awesome.
So I think I'll get back on for that. On the topic though,
So wait, real quick, while we're on the Godzilla thing, so you're just gonna have, like, Godzilla roaming the map
I hope not.
and, like, blowing fire, and if you get caught in the fire, you're
It can't be that, because Godzilla, realistically, and Kong, they're as big as the map.
so like what?
I have no idea how they're gonna go about
Is it just
doing
like
it.
a theme? Like, you'll see the bones
In the
of
background,
Kong,
or you'll see them, like, in the
fighting
ocean
background.
fighting.
Yeah,
I hope not. I hope they do something more
God, I
than
feel
that.
like that would
Yeah.
lag down some servers big time.
Oh my!
with that
It's
kind of
gonna,
crap
like, you
back there.
console peasants are gonna die
Yeah.
in real life because your console's gonna explode. But on the note of Battlefield, though, leaderboards came out, and your boy is
Top
ranked,
40%.
no top 4.
I know.
I am ranked 133rd in the world. I couldn't find Paul.
No, trust me,
'Cause-
I'm there, but you know,
Yeah, because for
there's probably some AI there ahead of me.
oh yeah, probably. Because, you know, for, you know, me personally, I don't, most people will do rankings by kills, but I'm not a fan of doing that because, like, for example, the guy who's in first place averages 7 hours per day every single day since November
Streamer,
19th.
for sure. Just
Like,
streams it.
I can't
all
keep
day
up with
long.
that. What I look at is kills per match, an average of your match. And, you know, it only shows like a minute, like it has to be a minimum of this many matches. And I'm 133rd at like 50 kills
It's
average
pretty
per
badass.
match.
I knew we would see you somewhere up there. I
Yeah.
mean, you get like 60 to 80 kills a game.
Yeah, when we played last night, that last match, I think I had 80.
Yeah.
And my most was like 180.
Yeah. My favorite thing was we were talking about it, and you were just like, "Yeah, but they're only ahead of me because I haven't played in a match with them yet." You know? So, like, I was like, "Dude, that's kind of a legendary statement."
I mean,
right there.
think about it. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but when am I not in first place?
There's not many games where I've not seen you up there. So
And if I'm in second place, we're talking by like 10 points or 1 kill is the difference, and that's rare. That's maybe one match of the night I won't place first. Otherwise, I'm in first on both teams. So, but Battle Royale
yeah,
might be coming to Halo, might not be. The rumor is that their Battle Royale mode that's been speculated is actually going to be a 12-person survival mode where you just whoever makes it to the end of the match, you just have limited guns, but you have 5 respawns. So it's not really going to be a Battle Royale that people thought it was going to be.
yeah. So I was like, that doesn't sound like a battle.
Yeah,
royale.
that news, I just saw that news today. So I figured I'd quick throw that in there too.
Yeah, it's interesting. Battle Royale has really changed the way we view games. Now we kind of expect those to kind of be a part of any new big game that's coming out with their launch. You know, and I think a lot of the games are going to start having that, not doing story mode. You know, so it's a lot of space they can, you know, kind of have for another game style.
Yeah.
to add into the team deathmatch or all those other styles.
The only thing is they're going to have to start making storage cheaper, just because imagine you see what Call of Duty 2019 takes up.
It's like 138 gigs or something.
It's 240
Is
with
it that
with
much?
Warzone. Yeah. So imagine when Modern Warfare 2022 comes out with Warzone 2. It's gonna be 500 gig game. That's your whole Xbox One hard drive there, kids.
Yeah, I have a 1 terabyte external storage that I use.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I have a 1 terabyte Xbox. I was gonna say, first of all, dickhead.
No, I have a external storage, little Seagate one that I bought. It's 1 terabyte, but I've been thinking about going to buy like a 2 terabyte one just because you're still limited. That even now a terabyte, which is crazy to think about, can just be gone in 5 to 6 games.
I mean, it's all about. Now, mind you, I'm not a game developer. I don't know everything about it. But when I see, for all the hate it gets, I'm going to bring it up. Battlefield 2042 texturally is a beautiful game. It is a beautiful game that has 7 very large maps. One of those maps being almost the size of Verdansk, is the size of Warzone. And that game total takes up like 110 gigs. And it has better textures than Warzone or Call of Duty 2019 with Warzone that takes up 240 gigs.
And there's a massive amount of vehicles.
Yeah, vehicles.
I mean, there's 3, 6, 9. There could be up to 10 vehicles in a map.
Yeah, running all at the same time. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Plus your 128 players.
Well,
that
could be 20 vehicles because that's 10 on each side.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because there's 3 columns of you have your quick vehicles like your Humvees.
Yeah, you have your transport vehicles, your attack vehicles,
and their choppers.
Then your transport helicopters, attack helicopters, and then the jets. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy to think about that there could be that much going on, and it's only 110 gigs. That's wild. Yeah.
But I mean, I think we've kind of talked everyone's ear off about Battle Royale, but personally, it's my favorite shooter genre.
And PUBG just launched some new content. So if you guys have never played PUBG and you want to get on there and experience what it was like for the first game that really kind of brought this into everybody's.
And it's free to play.
Yeah, and is it still free? I think it's $29.99.
No, they changed it. Once they sold it. Once PlayerUnknown sold it, they made it completely free to play.
Oh, nice. Definitely go download it then. Yeah. Because new maps, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do in it now that you weren't able to do before. I mean, hell, when I was playing last, they had like hang gliding.
Yeah, now they got bicycles that you can like put in your backpack. And
so there's a lot of cool stuff. PUBG's still a great game. We've actually talked about hopping back on there to play a few.
I downloaded it yesterday.
But again, Battle Royale, it's changed the way we game, and look forward to seeing what else is coming on. So we're going to get ready to head into our sports segment, and we'll see you guys there.
Deuces.
Sports. William Dafoe must have a really... Why is your camera so blurry, bro?
I don't know.
Get that fixed, dog. I thought you were going to take a video and I wasn't smiling.
I'm so shaky. Welcome back to the MGS Podcast, your one-stop shop for movies, games, and sports. We've reached the final segment of our podcast, which is sports. Obviously the NBA playoffs are going on right now. My Bucks are currently up 3-1 in their series. Last 2 games were a blowout. And we're currently playing...
I didn't see that happening like that.
No, I mean...
the Bulls have got a pretty stellar roster.
They do.
And I didn't see those 2 games being with such a huge margin difference there. So.
Oh, yeah, and especially, Chris Middleton's out, and he's probably going to be out, into halfway through our next series, too.
You got Giannis's brother, so...
Yeah, Giannis's brother is so dependable. I mean, we've got Drew Holiday. He's playing pretty well right now. He played, really good in this last game against the Bulls. So, I'm glad to see him step up without Chris Middleton out there. I mean, the 76ers, they're also 3-1 in their series. They're playing really well. Harden, I mean,
He's really coming into form over there.
Well, so my opinion on Harden, there are some stats to back it up, but the Harden from the Houston Rockets is gone. We're never going to see that Harden again. He's still a grade
Well, they took away
A player,
his move.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you really think about it, the NBA took away the Harden.
That's true.
That whole thing where you're shooting a three and you jump into somebody
and you get that foul.
and
well, even
you
his
get that
step back,
foul.
he's gotten called for traveling more on his step back than he has in the past,
which good for the NBA.
His step back is borderline traveling. You can go either way.
I can't tell you that that's one of the main reasons why I disliked Harden so much. Was from that BS, jumping into people as you're shooting, and it's like, it's purposely done. So it's not like the defender even has an opportunity. He's doing what he's supposed to do, and then they take this cheat, I would say,
essentially,
and used exactly what the game allowed them to do. And now you're seeing a whole different ball player.
There was a point in the playoffs last year when the Bucks were playing the Nets, and at one point Harden did that, and he went into Giannis and he tripped Giannis, and Giannis fell. And it's like, all right, you're kind of going a little too far with it. Like, if it's easy to tear a muscle in your knee,
especially when you're running all.
Yeah,
game
and I know
you're
you're taking advantage of a guy being sometimes too close to you in coverage, but at the same time, you're taking a guy, and I'm not just saying Giannis, a lot of guys who are playing amazing defense, and you're like, huh, defense this.
You stick your leg out.
Yeah. And so I don't think we're ever going to see that Harden again, but he's
still a shooter. He can still shoot. He can still drive. He does have handles,
and he still draws attention.
Yeah,
which is a big thing. But
which is what they wanted, because gets Embiid open, and he can go out and do whatever he needs to if he's driving to the hole.
Yeah,
people are going to attack Harden still when he drives to give Embiid a little bit of.
And speaking of those handles, though, Celtics are handling the Nets. Oh my Lord.
Bro.
Jason Tatum is going off. Jason Tatum.
Yeah, if you don't know about
him,
I mean,
GOAT.
Even 4 years ago when these guys were making their runs, him and Brown, just doing it up over there in Boston. Those two guys and just Jason Tatum himself, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, well,
the kid has got so much talent.
Oh, and I agree. I couldn't agree more. One thing I don't agree with is a lot of people are now saying that Jason Tatum has surpassed KD in the current NBA hierarchy, and it's like, this is Kevin Durant that we're talking about.
One of the greatest shooters of all time.
One of the best scorers currently still, in my opinion, in the NBA. I'm not going to put Jason Tatum above him.
That's why I hate whenever, we might see a sweep with that series. I still think the Nets will pull out at least one game. I just don't see Durant and Kyrie getting swept. But that's the story and the narrative that the media will push, to fuel the fire and, get under everybody's skin to create these types of conversations, about it. But there's no way. It's way too early for any of us to even say that. I mean, the things that Kevin Durant did in OKC, you can't go back and forget all that.
Yeah. I mean, even when he went over to the Warriors, and to mind you, a lot more talent there as well. But I mean, he is just a dominant force.
Speaking of the Warriors, Steph Curry over there just making moves, driving to the hole, shooting like he never even skipped a beat when he went out. So
I saw this video today of two older guys watching some kids play basketball, and this guy's like, I hate Steph Curry. He ruined the NBA. No, he ruined basketball. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, watch this. And they pan the camera to a little kid trying to shoot a long three and completely missing. And it's like, oh, okay.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you make a good point.
Yeah, so the Warriors over there up 3-1 against the Nuggets, who's a very good team as well.
Yeah.
So I think the Nuggets ended up pulling off the game tonight because they almost were going to be I think it would have been their 7th sweep under Steve Kerr in the playoffs, but the Nuggets pulled it off and were able to kind of hang in there. So we'll see what goes on in Game 5. But again, they're up 3-1. You have the Suns, Booker out.
Yeah,
you got Chris Paul and them running the floor over there, and
it's 2-1 right now with their
2-1.
Game 4's actually. Game 4 starts in
the way I look at it is all these teams are here for a reason. I don't care if you were the last seed or if you made it through the play-in tournament. You don't want to give anybody the wrong kind of motivation, you
Yeah.
know, like, and Booker going out, the Pelicans took advantage of that last game, and, you know, we'll see what they do in game 4. So, and then also, again, another one is 2-1, the Miami Heat series against the Hawks. And
Yeah, and they're playing as we speak. We're in quarter 3.
yeah, and I think they're
Heat are-
losing. The Heat are winning. Heat are up right now by almost like 12 to 15 points. But,
Yeah.
I mean, even 12 to 15 points, you can't count that out. Someone gets on fire.
Well, yeah, you see, how many times do you see, oh, they're on a 20-0 run? It's like, you never know what's going to happen
Yeah.
in basketball. And I think that's the beauty of basketball is it's one of those sports where with how many points are scored, the tide can turn at any time.
Absolutely.
It really can. So, you know, I think that'll kind of wrap things up for the playoffs right now. You know, we've got some other stuff we want to talk about, but, you know, go Bucks, go Lakers. Oh, sorry.
I'm still rooting for the Grizzlies, so.
Yeah. The Grizzlies, that series is 2-2.
Series
So
2-2.
yeah.
So, Morant is an absolute beast. But, yeah, anyway, so we'll move on.
a couple things I wanted to touch on with the NFL.
Yeah, okay.
You know, some of this might seem like old news. Got to remember it's been 2 weeks since our last podcast, since last week's podcast. Packers signed free agent Sammy Watkins, which was being heavily praised by Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron.
You know, Rodgers just thinks that Sammy Watkins is extremely talented, as do I. I mean,
He's getting a little bit older.
you don't go from being one of the top 5 receivers in football to just being a nobody. You'll never be a nobody. You're always going to, and shut your mouth. And it might not even just be on the field, you know, the coaching of the younger guys. Because I think with them bringing Sammy Watkins on, I think that was them saying, we're not going to pursue DK Metcalf. We're not going to pursue, you know, recent news, Debo requested a trade out of the 49ers.
Yeah, that shocked me.
And one of the teams he said he would be interested in playing for is the Packers. But I don't see us pursuing Debo. So
Well,
I think
you know what was shocking to me is that all year long they talked about how he was such a dual threat in the running back spot, also wide receiver, but he's made it known that he just wants to be a wide receiver. He doesn't want to do the running back.
And
he
I think
just
that's
wants
part
to
of
go
the reason
somewhere.
he wanted out.
Yeah.
Because they listened to him, but they didn't care. You know, they're like, you're going to do what we need you to do. And the strain that takes
Well, dude,
on your
football
body.
is a physical game.
Yeah.
You know, I think he realizes, like, look, if I do both these positions, not only am I getting hit, you know, at wide receiver, I'm taking a beating running the ball, and they do take a beating.
Oh, yeah.
And after doing all
suck
that,
in
it's a
and
wear
going
on your
through that
body. And I
hole.
think he realizes, like, look, if I want to play this game for a long time, I've got to make this decision that's going to be right for me and for my body.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that's the right call.
I agree. So, you know, back onto what I was saying, though, you know, I think the Packers signing Watkins was them saying, look, we've got 4 picks in the top 60 of the draft. 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks.
You don't think they'll trade any of that for DK?
We'll find out this week.
Dude,
But
I would still think. I mean, Sammy Watkins. Don't get me wrong. He's okay pickup. I think Aaron Rodgers can elevate anybody's game. And I mean, the guy already has hands. I think he came out of Clemson. Another wide receiver.
Yeah.
You know, that comes out of Clemson.
well, my hope is
Higgins. from the Bengals.
there's some stud wide receivers in the draft class this year
Yeah.
too. So
I mean, it's not as heavy as what it usually is. It seems to be more
but
defensive and more O-line.
a lot of those guys
heavy,
I can
but-
see being a threat with Aaron Rodgers throwing them the ball.
I mean, like I said, he'll elevate anybody's
Yeah.
game. But
So-
do you want to take a year to get somebody in?
No,
and
I want
develop?
DK Metcalf.
Right. You want to
I-
get somebody
I-
that has the hands.
I
and-
want DK Metcalf. I want a guy who can take a blindside hit, and just be like, "Oh, something touched me."
Yeah.
You know, I love DK Metcalf. I
You're-
think he's a stud.
No one coming in is going to replace the shoes that you guys lost with, you know, Aaron Jones. Or
Devontae Adams.
Devontae
You
Adams.
had it
Jeez,
right the
I had
first
all
time.
the well.
Yeah.
I almost said Adam Jones. Then I went to I all mixed it up. So, but yeah, you know they're not going to fill those shoes.
So-
but DK Metcalf would be, physical wise, an upgrade.
It would be something that, since in my lifetime of being a Packers fan, we've never had a receiver that can be as physical as DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
we had a tight end at one point, Jermichael Finley, who got pretty damn physical, but he ended up getting a career-ending injury because he just couldn't handle that physicality. But my opinion on filling the shoes of Davante Adams, do not get me wrong. I think Davante Adams is the best receiver in football right now. I also thought Greg Jennings was the best receiver in football when he left the Packers to go to Minnesota, where he became a nobody. A nobody. And then he went to Miami and became even less of a somebody somehow.
Well, people have high hopes for Derek Carr, so that's a different quarterback. Who was in Minnesota at the time when Greg Jennings went there?
Yeah.
You don't.
They had 48 since
it just depends. I mean, like, Derek Carr, is a good
and Derek
quarterback.
Carr is
so
going to be
different.
better than whoever Greg Jennings had throwing to him. I agree completely, but at the same time, we've seen some crazy inconsistencies with Derek Carr. I don't know if you remember, but when Derek Carr was in his rookie year and he had a pretty damn good year, I actually said to you and Andy, I'm like, this guy is going to be the next best quarterback in football. And he did not meet my
He's been through a lot, though.
He has.
I mean, off the field.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's been through a hell of a lot.
At least he will always have bragging rights over his brother, David Carr.
Took his spot.
He is just a joke of a quarterback.
But yeah, so I mean, anyways, back to DK Metcalf real quick. Just want to say, you can't blindside that guy.
No, you can't.
Have you seen some of the videos where?
Yeah, he gets hit by the 49ers guy, and literally, he's just like, shoot, I didn't catch the ball. And like the other guy's like,
laid out on the ground. And there's been a couple of those, so that's hilarious. We'll have to throw some of those up because they're pretty funny.
I love DK Metcalf. He is an animal. Paul loves to say, we'll throw some of that up. We'll put it right here. We'll give Jake something to do right here.
He's had a week off. Give him hell.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so I mean, that's really some of the NFL news. I think even last week in the podcast that didn't get aired, we talked a little bit about the Bengals, and I was excited for the O-line.
Yeah.
They've brought in for Cincy that we didn't really get to touch about a few weeks back when all that was going on for the opening of free agency, but I won't get in that today.
Yeah, you've got some MLB stuff you want to touch on.
Yeah, there's been some crazy things going on to the start of this season. First you get this lockout that happens and the season gets delayed, and then the season starts and everybody is just fueled, including fans. I don't know if you guys caught it, but man, those Yankee fans in the Bronx are brutal.
They're stand-up citizens, is what he's trying to say.
The Guardians were out there for a little bit of a visit on I think it was a 3-game series, and left fielder. First, it started off with the bullpen. A lot of the Yankees crowd, or I guess fans, were giving a lot of trash talk to the pitchers in the bullpen, where one ended up even climbing the wall and was like, why don't you come down here? Like, I'll fight you. And then at the end of the game, Stanton actually hits a walk-off home run for the Yankees, and the Yankees fans start throwing a ton of trash onto the field at the Guardians players. And it just escalated quickly. I mean, they were literally trying to climb the wall to fight these fans, and these people were still throwing full drinks.
Like, how are you going to spend $20 on a beer and then throw it?
Yeah, and everything's already priced higher in New York.
Yeah,
anyway,
you figure maybe $40 for a beer.
For sure. And I mean, they were just throwing so much trash down on the field at these players, and it's like, dude, the disrespect is crazy. Like, these guys are out there, playing this game, the game that we love to watch, and then you just disrespect them by throwing it. And it's not even his fault. Like, you started the trash talk, probably saying some super inappropriate things, because I have heard that there is a lot of race, cursing, slurring.
The Bronx we're talking about, bro.
I mean, at those players down there in left and right field, and I guess you take it, when you're there as an opposing team, you're going to hear the trash talk, but there's always so much that you can take before you're like, people. You know what? Yeah. I'm over this. Yeah. Like, this is, you're passing the line of disrespect.
Yeah. It's like with me, you can insult my family. You can insult my looks. you say you don't like the prequel trilogy, and we're fighting. But it's bad when some of the Yankees players start running over, like Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge was
they're
out
running
there
over
in the
and
middle
they're like,
of it, and they're
"Stop it,
still
stop it."
throwing
Yeah,
trash.
and
it's like,
that's one of their studs right there. And they're like, "Hey, you want a $40 beer too?" Maybe they're just trying to give him a beer.
Yeah, and it was crazy. I mean, it's just super, super disrespectful.
Yeah, we'll have that clip playing. Well, you've probably already seen that; it's been playing by now. But
And the next thing that I want to talk about is a whole nother level of disrespect too.
the HNL.
H&M.
What was that? Key and Peele, I think. Whole nother level.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know that's where.
Yeah, I'll show you the video later.
Noise.
Noise. Continue, my dear friend.
But was the Miami Marlins Jazz was up to plate, and he was actually getting it was actually a 0-2 count. So he had 2 strikes on him, and he's sitting there in the box, and he's in the back of the box, but he's not in the box yet. And the umpire starts like, "Hey, let's hurry this up. Let's get this going. You're taking too much time." And he's like, "Whoa, man." He's like, "Just relax." He's like, "I'm just getting in my zone real quick, and I'm trying to get focused." And
you have your routine. You can't mess up the routine.
And it wasn't even taking that long.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've seen some players get up there, they kick the dirt around, and they take a couple minutes. But as a pitcher, once you step in that box, it's free game. So the catcher knows it, and Molina, I think they're playing the Cardinals, is sitting there like, "Throw the ball, like get it to me, like you're 0-2, let's get this out." And so they ended up calling timeout, and so he steps back out of the box, and he has some words with the umpire. They kind of exchange some words, and he gets in the box, and he just has the bat on his shoulder, and you just see him. He's like, he looks pissed. And then next pitch, they throw it inside, and he just jacks this thing and disrespects the hell out of the umpire on the way home.
That's
hits
amazing.
the gritty as he hits home plate, and it was so disrespectful. It was so awesome. But hats to him, bro, because at the same time, it's like you have your technique when you get up to the plate, and it wasn't anything that was like ridiculous. I've seen way worse. I was hoping to see like a badass bat flip, after he hit it, but once he rounded third and hit home, he hit the gritty right in front of the
That's
umpire.
amazing,
And
though.
it was awesome.
I love that.
So. But yeah, man, a lot of good things happen in baseball.
When we had a little we reminisced on Bernie Mac a little bit.
Oh yeah.
we if any of you haven't seen the movie Mr. 3000 starring Bernie Mac, rest in peace, Big Mac.
Oh, Miguel Cabrera just hit his 3,000th hit, and he joins a very, very elite company of having more than 500 home runs and hitting that 3,000th hit. So awesome to see him. He'll definitely be in the Hall of Fame one day when he's done. But right now he's saying, "I still got juice.
Yeah.
I'm still going."
Do you know what I miss, to be completely honest? In baseball, I miss the steroids era. When you
Don't
had
get me started.
Mark
bro.
McGwire and Sammy Sosa.
People,
Man, just let these people take steroids. I
Yeah.
want to see how far they can hit that
let me tell you
ball.
something. I'm going to tell you straight up right now. That era of baseball, I don't care if they were on steroids or not. It was the best thing for baseball at the time.
It was.
I mean,
That's what got me into baseball. Mark
the-
McGwire and Sammy
yep,
Sosa.
the run for 60.
Yeah.
It was
Oh my
like who can get to the 60 home runs. Then you have Barry Bonds coming
Yeah,
out
Barry
and
Bonds,
mashing it. But yeah, dude, it was such a great time in baseball. The home run derbies with them.
Yeah.
And just them chasing this. I remember one thing in 2001 after 9/11, watching Sammy Sosa run out on the field with the American
That was
flag
amazing.
in Chicago that still gives me chills when I see that. But it was so good for the game that it brought so many people who may have stopped watching the game back to it,
Yeah.
because this chase went on for a few years.
Yeah.
And this rivalry between the two of them went on, and it was just, they were good sports to each other. They were always, saying hey to each other. Mark McGwire played first base, so every time Sammy Sosa would get on, they'd sit there and chalk it up over there on first base, and it was just really good for the game. And then to see these guys now not being able to get into the Hall of Fame
because they're competing with the steroid era.
Yeah.
Well, the guys in the steroid era can't get into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it kind of sucks, but
For
like
people
I said, it was
that
so good.
reinvented a sport that at the time needed to be reinvented. I mean, baseball is always going to be an American classic in terms of its history, but Yeah, like you said, the steroid era, it got so many people into baseball who didn't care. I didn't care about baseball at all.
Yeah.
I started watching during the steroid era. Hell, the steroid era was so popular. They made, like, you always had your baseball video games, but they made home run derby video games. Like, that's all the video game was
Yep.
home run derby. And you
Oh
could
man,
pick.
the Ken Griffey home run derby
Yeah.
on N64
Yeah.
was one of my favorite baseball games. Yeah, it's just, and speaking of Ken Griffey, he's the man.
Did you see what he said about LeBron?
No, what did he say?
So he said that a dream of his is to see LeBron and Bronny playing on a team together so that he can take his dad to go see Bron and Bronny with
Griffey and Griffey Sr.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
he said that's a dream of his at this point now. And that would be pretty cool.
yeah.
I
mean-
I loved me some Ken Griffey Jr.
His dad is super involved still with the Cincinnati Reds organization up there, so I'm sure he's probably a huge Cleveland fan and probably watched Braun
Yeah.
come up there and win that championship. So.
Who was it that someone was batting and they checked the bat and they're like, "Oh, you can't use this bat," and then Ken Griffey Jr. hands the guy his bat and he bombs a home run with it anyway. I forget,
What cork?
I forget, I forget who it was, but it was one of my favorite things that ever happened.
One of
in
the most
baseball.
legendary moments of Ken Griffey Jr. was, that him and his dad played together with
Yeah.
the Seattle.
Well, yeah, that's why
Mariners,
it's like a dream of his to see LeBron and
his
Bronny.
son play
Yeah.
together. Yeah, I mean, there's not many times you see that duo, father
Yeah.
son, play in the league. But Ken Griffey's dad goes up, and I think it may have been his first season or his second season with the Mariners. His dad goes up, hits a home run. His son comes up right behind him and hits one after. And
Yeah.
it's like, dude, that's got to be the coolest moment in your
It's-
life for those two. Like,
Honestly, anytime I see family playing together, like, just think of like a Trayvon Diggs covering Stephon Diggs and how cool that is, because it's like that sibling rivalry too, right there. And, even like, Clay Matthews going up against his cousins, he had a couple of cousins who were in the league that were offensive linemen.
TJ Watt going up
TJ
against
Watt, yeah.
JJ Watt,
Yeah.
because both of them are on opposite sides of the ball. So
Yeah, it's always been amazing to me. And, I wish that could have been us,
yeah. Me too, man. Just so damn short.
Believe it or not, Paul and I were both offered full NFL contracts, but they're like, well, we can only take one of you. Paul's too short. We can't take him. We have no need for a guy that's 5'3".
Yeah, they wouldn't even let
So-
me be the water boy.
Yeah, so I actually turned down the contract
because we couldn't play together.
play together.
So now we start this podcast.
And then, we've got this Madden franchise thing going on where we're both starters anyway. I think I've thrown for 999 yards in game one. So,
Game Oh God.
but I think that'll wrap things up for the podcast. So
Yeah.
any last thing you can think of? I think that's all I got for this week.
No, that's all. Yeah, all I really got. I mean, that's some good stuff there for baseball. I love to see it. Anybody that's been in the game that long and getting that milestone for Miguel was pretty awesome.
One thing I want to quick touch on. In hockey news, I don't care. We don't watch hockey.
That's not true. I watched the playoffs.
I watch the Tampa Lightning. I hop on that bandwagon.
No, dude, playoff hockey is awesome.
I know.
If you've never caught some
people
playoff
assume
hockey,
because I'm
it's-
from Wisconsin that I watch hockey, but it's not a big thing up there. For as
Really?
cold as it is, yeah, nobody cares. We like in Green Bay, we had an amateur team called the Green Bay Gamblers, which it was cool to go to those games. We even took field trips.
Is that like the Solar Bears
Yeah.
here in Orlando?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, same thing. I remember like when you would go in, everyone got a hockey puck with a
Oh, that's
number
sweet.
on it, and you would like throw the hockey puck into the rink, and whoever got it close to the center would win something.
That's actually kind of cool.
I never won anything.
Yeah, because you can't throw.
The level of insulting that was. That'll wrap things up for the podcast because we're going to go fight. So.
All right, hey, we could do a bet. Let's go record ourselves at the at a football field. We'll test to see who can throw further with the football. We'll test to see who can throw further with the baseball. We'll see who can, out of 3, kick into the goal with a soccer at full force at a soccer goal. To kind of do like a little sports bet there.
Okay.
Do that kind of stuff there, and
What's on the line?
I don't know. We'll figure it out, but that's gonna be the bet.
I know you really want to dress like a woman.
I don't know.
So I'm going to say if I win, you have to dress like a woman. Because everyone got to see me dressed like a woman, and then you can think of whatever you want me to do. But I'm down.
All right, yeah, we'll do it. So we'll get a video of us out there, doing our long ball and some other sport actions, and let us know if you want to see us do anything sport-wise to throw in the mix there. But yeah, let's make that happen.
We'll do it. And then we're going to 1v1 in any video game.
I already lost that one. So.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out.
Where we're at.
Equals.
Say something, I'm giving up on you. I like to touch my butthole with tissue.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Your other brother
Can't deny.
When
a girl walks in with an itty-bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung.